and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some gluten-free chocolate chip banana muffins, or loaf, or bread, however you choose, but today we're going to be doing some muffins. They are gluten-free and we're going to be using the Robin Hood all-purpose flour. This one has everything that you need, so no xanthan gum that you need to add into it, and it's a 1-for-1. So 1 cup of regular flour is 1 cup of this gluten-free flour, which makes measuring a lot easier. Everything we've got here, I've got all the ingredients measured out. It's all going to be in the description box, so you can see the instructions on how to make everything, as well as the ingredients that you need with all the measurements. So don't worry, it'll all be in the description box for you to have this recipe. So before we get started, make sure that you set your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, because you want your oven to preheat before you start mixing, so then that way you're not waiting around after for your oven to preheat. So first off, you're going to need 2 bowls. The first bowl can be a little bit of a smaller bowl because you're going to be dumping it into the second bowl, but this bowl will be for your dry ingredients. So we're going to be adding, first off, move that bag, we're going to be doing the flour, so 2.5 cups of flour. This is 2.5 cups of the gluten-free Robin Hood flour. I'm just going to dump it in the bowl. Then next we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. So I've already got the salt all measured up here. Again, half a teaspoon. Just dump it in the bowl. And then next we're going to be doing some baking soda. So I'm just using the regular Arm & Hammer baking soda, and you do 1.5 teaspoons. So we'll start with the half since we've already got that one ready. There's the half. And we do 1. So just dump that in. I just created a little hole in my box, so then that way it's easier. So dump that one in there. We're done with those. And then I just take a little whisk and I just kind of mix them all together so that way it's all blended as one. You don't even see the other ingredients in here. It all just looks like regular flour. So then we're going to put this bowl aside because we're done with the dry ingredients. And then we're going to move on to the wet bowl. So the wet bowl will have your butter, your sugar, everything like that. So we're going to start off. I've measured out 3/4 cup of salted butter softened. So I just used Baysell butter and left it out on the counter for a little bit, so it's really, really soft. So again, that's 3/4 cup of butter. Then next we're going to go on to light brown sugar. So this is 1.5 cups of light brown sugar. It's kind of a mixture. I was finishing up 2 bags, but it all tastes the same in the end anyways. So we'll just go ahead and dump that into the bowl. Make sure it's all broken up. Next we're going to be doing 2 large eggs. So these ones, they're at room temperature. You can do them from cold. It doesn't specify anyway. So I'm just going to crack these ones into the bowl. So that's 2 large eggs. And then next we're going to be going in with the bananas. So it says on the recipe to do 3 cups, but I like to do 3 bananas. Sometimes people like to do 7 bananas. It just depends on your banana flavor that you like. And this is a good way to get rid of bananas that you may not have eaten. So I went ahead and already peeled the bananas and put them into a bowl. So this is 3 really ripe bananas that are nice and soft. So it'll be easy to blend all of those. We're going to go in with a teaspoon of vanilla. You can put more vanilla. It more or less adds flavor, but I like to do a teaspoon. So we'll just add that in. So once you have all your wet ingredients mixed into a bowl, it will look something like this with nothing mixed together. I used to do it by hand, but I've recently acquired an old hand-me-down electric mixer from my family, and it makes it a lot easier to make sure all the bananas and everything are mushed up. So I'm going to mix this, and we'll be right back. Okay, so once it's all mixed together, you can kind of see it's like a more liquidy texture. There's no lumps left from the bananas, which is good because you don't want to have like chunks of banana in your muffins. You can go ahead and add on in the dry ingredients. So you'll slowly but surely, I'm just using the same whisk that I did from when I mixed the dry ingredients, and I'm just going to slowly add in the mixture, and then I'm gonna by hand mix the flour and everything into the banana mixture, because you don't want it to get all over the place and you don't want it to become even more lumpy. So you can see it's starting to get just a little bit thicker as we add it in. Usually it takes about 3 different rounds of mixing before you kind of got all the flour and everything combined into one. So as you can see, it's really starting to become more of like a paste consistency, which is good because you don't want your muffins to be too runny. And then we're still going to be adding the chocolate chips in once everything is finished. Alright, so there's kind of like the final mixture with all the flour combined. I'm going to be taking in some chocolate chips. I may add more chocolate chips. This is again 1 cup. So I'm going to mix this in to see what it's going to look like, and how it kind of goes with the consistency of the full mixture to see if we need to add more. But half a cup is never enough chocolate chips for a recipe. I think I may add a little more. So I'm just going to take the very large bag and just... It probably, in the end, is about 1.5 cups of chocolate chips, I would say. So this is what the end mixture looks like. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some of these little paper cups inside of the muffin tin, so then that way it's a lot easier to get them out. You don't need to butter the inside of the muffin container, and it's a lot easier to clean when you're finished. So I'm going to do that, and we will be right back. I'm going to use my meatball scooper to scoop in the muffins, and I usually do about 1 scoop per muffin and then go back to see if I need to add any extra. Okay, so as you can see here, we obviously have quite a bit of the mixture left. What I will do sometimes is I'll just do 1 tray of muffins and then do the rest in like sort of a really thin loaf pan. But I just really want to do muffins today, so what I'll do is I'll put these in the oven. I put them in for 30 minutes. I'll put them in for 30 minutes straight, so I won't take them out, I won't touch them, I won't do anything. After that 30 minutes, I'll take them out of the oven and I use a toothpick. So usually what the toothpick will do is when you put it right down the center of a muffin, when you pull it out, if there's any sort of goopy texture left on the toothpick, it means that they're not quite done yet. I mean, unless you like semi-raw muffins, but I don't. So I stick the toothpick in. When I pull it out, if there's nothing left aside from maybe a little chocolate because they're melted, I know that they're finished. I like the tops to be like a light crispy brown, you know, they kind of brown as they go into the oven. And they're obviously not going to be like huge overflowing muffins, so they'll just kind of come above the paper a little bit and then they'll be finished. So I'm going to put these in the oven for 30 minutes and then we'll check on them in a half an hour and see how it goes. So we just had the muffins in for 30 minutes in the oven, door closed. So I'm just going to stick it in one of the thicker muffins so we can see what it looks like and if it's done inside. What ended up happening is I didn't have enough little paper cups for the muffins, so I put the rest of the dough in a loaf tin. So that one still needs more time. It's still completely gooey on top, but the muffins, let's check them. So as you can see, there's nothing left, just a little bit of chocolate at the end of the toothpick. Since there's nothing left, I'm going to stick it into another muffin and see. Nope, nothing left on this one. So the muffins are done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out, let them cool, and then all we have left to do is wait for the loaf. But that's pretty much it. That's how you bake some gluten-free banana chocolate chip muffins. Let's see if we can take one out so you can see what it looks like. They're really hot, so I'm just going to grab a spoon and kind of try to scoop it out. There you are. Nice little banana muffin, perfect for snacks, like a mid-morning lunch with a tea or coffee, whatever you choose, or maybe like a sweet treat after lunch. But I'm going to take all of these out and I'm going to let them cool while we wait for the loaf to be finished. So I hope you all enjoyed our baking video. If you like baking videos or cooking videos, then let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!